Hi, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Pearson, your elementary ELL teacher. Today we're going to do the oral retell for second grade journeys, lesson 5, and our story is Teacher's Pets. So for this lesson, we're going to turn and talk. That means I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to think about your answer. And if you have someone at home, you can pair up with them and talk to them as well. And you can also be my virtual partner. And then you're going to share your answer out loud in a complete sentence or sentences. So let's think, is Teacher's Pets fantasy? And fantasy means things that cannot happen, or reality. And reality means things that can happen. So Teacher's Pets is a reality story. And in reality stories, here's some of our noticings. The story could happen. The places are real. The people can be real. Animals act like animals. You might learn facts, and it can be funny. Oh, I know that Teacher's Pets could happen. The place is real. The people are real. The animals act like animals. And it is a funny story. Let's review our vocabulary or important words, because you may be saying them as you answer questions or when you retell the story. Number 1, wonderful, great, fantastic. And notice I highlighted great because that's another word for wonderful. Number 2, noises. Noises are sounds, and I highlighted sounds because that's a synonym, a word that means the same for noises. And noises don't have to be loud. They can be soft or loud or medium. Number 3, quiet. To make little to no sound, calm, not noisy. And another word for quiet could be calm. 4, sprinkled, scattered or shook small amounts. And another word for sprinkled could be scattered. 5, share, to show to others or to take part in something, to divide up. And another word for share could be to show or to divide up. Number 6, noticed. Noticed, saw, felt, or heard, was aware of. And another word for notice could be saw. Number 7, bursting, full of, overflowing, ready to break open, suddenly, bursting. And another word for bursting could be overflowing. Number 8, suddenly, it happens without warning, quickly. And another word for suddenly could be quickly. All right, let's do our learning target. Let's say it out loud. I can retell the story, Teacher's Pets, with my partner using pictures, words, and sentences. Success criteria. That means how will you know you're successful at retelling the story using pictures, words, and sentences? Well, just like these people are climbing the mountain, we are climbing our learning mountain, and we're taking certain steps to be successful and reach the top. So here's our steps for success. I will, number 1, answer the talk about it questions. 2, I will say and match the characters and setting. 3, say and match the lesson or moral of the story, what the characters learned. 4, I will put the retelling pictures in the correct sequence or order. And 5, I will say and match the sentences to each picture, saying what happened first, then, later, and last. And don't worry, we'll do these all together and in this order. So let's review our turn and talk rules. Number 1, I to I, me to me. Number 2, first one person talks, the other person listens. 3, then the next person talks, the other person listens. 4, do not talk too long on your turn, or your partner will not have time to have a turn. You also may agree with me or your partner, and if you do, you could say it out loud. You could say, I agree with you because, and tell me why, or I disagree. And you can say, I disagree with you because, and say why. So here's our first major event in Teacher's Pets. You can reread about it on pages 148 to 149 in our Journeys textbook. Look closely at the picture and think what's going on. And on the chalkboard, it says, Good morning, class. My name is Miss Fry. So here's our first question. Number 1, what happens on Mondays in Miss Fry's class? On Mondays, so say that out loud, on Mondays, and then finish your thought. What happens on Mondays in Miss Fry's class? On Mondays, well, if you remember, on Mondays is sharing day. What would Winston like to share with the class? So Winston came to Miss Fry and he asked something important. What would Winston like to share with the class? Winston wants to share. So say that out loud. Winston wants to share. Well, Winston wants to share his pet. Here's our next major event, and you can reread about it on pages 148 to 149. Look closely at the picture, and if there are words that say quack, 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 meow, meow, cock-a-doodle-doo, ribbit, ribbit, chirrup, chirrup, ba, ba, woof, woof, and squeak, squeak. So it says, number 1, describe what is happening behind the door of Miss Fry's classroom. What vocabulary word does the author use to help describe the classroom? So the author describes the classroom as, so what was that vocabulary word? And then finish your thought, because there are, so say it out loud. The author describes the classroom as blank because there are, well, the author describes the classroom as bursting with noises because there are a lot of animals, and look at all the noises they're making. Ribbit, ribbit, meow, meow, quack, quack, cock-a-doodle-doo. So, second question, how has the classroom changed since the beginning of the story? How has the classroom changed since the beginning of the story, and what events caused the change? So, in the beginning, how was the classroom? And now, what is it like to be in the classroom? So say it out loud. In the beginning, now, well, in the beginning, there were no animals in the classroom. And now there are many animals in the classroom. In fact, the animals have not gone home after coming for sharing day. They've stayed and lived in the classroom. So a lot has changed. Number 3, you can reread about this event on pages 164 to 165. Think about what's going on in the picture. And here's our first question. What are the children celebrating? What are they celebrating? So say it out loud. They are celebrating. Well, The children are celebrating the last day of school. They're having an end of the year celebration. Number 2, what does Miss Fry remind the children to do? What does Miss Fry remind the children to do? She reminds them to, and if you can read these words right here, that will answer your question. She reminds them to, well, she reminds them to take home their pets, because here in big words it says, take home your pets. And then it says, one by one, the children disappeared. Whoops, sorry about that. With them went their pets. Here's our last major event. You can reread about it on pages 167 to 168 of our Journeys textbook. And our question is, how does Mo become Miss Fry's pet? How does Mo becomes Miss Fry's pet? Mo becomes her pet because, well, Mo becomes her pet because one of her students leaves her a note and says, Mo likes you best, so I want to give you Mo. And number 2, do you think Mo likes his new home and why? So tell me why. I think Mo feels because, well, I think Mo feels happy and content because he was stuck in a jar most of the year and wasn't outside, and now he's outside in Miss Fry's garden. And it says, Miss Fry says, welcome home, Mo. What a wonderful pet you are. And I think Mo realizes what a kind, wonderful teacher Miss Fry is because she treated all the animals like that. So let's retell teachers' pets together using this graphic organizer. Retell of teachers' pets. The characters were, who were the characters in the story? So finish this sentence. The characters were Miss Fry, the students, and the animals, but especially Mo. The setting was, where did the story take place? The setting was the Miss Fry's classroom, was the classroom, or Miss Fry's classroom. So let's put the pictures in the correct sequence that we talked about them. First, later, next, and last. So what happened first in the story? First, or at the beginning of the story? First, Miss Fry tells her class that Monday is sharing day. Winston asks, may we share a pet? Later, he brings his wonderful pet rooster. And if you notice, I underlined share and wonderful because those are some vocabulary words. Later, what happens later? Well, later, all the students bring their pets to class. In fact, the pets stay there every day. The class is bursting with the pets' happy noises. And again, there's the word bursting and noises. Next, Whoops, sorry about that. Next, what happens? So finish your thinking out loud. Next. So next, on the last day of school, the class had a party. When it was over, Miss Fry said, "Don't forget to take home your pets." Once they were gone, the classroom was quiet. And there's that vocabulary word, quiet. No longer bursting with noises. Last, what happened last in the story? Last. Well, last, Miss Fry noticed a note from Roger, who asked her to keep Mo. Miss Fry took Mo home and placed him in her garden. Now Mo was happy. So let's talk about the lesson. In the end, the students learned that Miss Fry was a kind, what was she? In the end, the students learned that Miss Fry was a kind teacher. All right, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed retelling the story Teacher's Pets and talking about the important events in the story. I hope you have a great day.